Hey Rovers, after that really spirited sail through Cape Cod Bay and Cape Cod Canal, well, I decided to just keep going. My spirits were so high, I said, right, let's just do the remaining 65 or 70 miles and get to Stonington.
The Wave Rover 650, a design based on my solo ocean crossings. She's small, light, and yet easy to build, but strong enough to cross any ocean.
My name's Alan Mulholland, and this is the Wave Rover story. Well, I just tried to film a little bit on deck, can't see a thing. So I'm just going to describe what happened. So after I got through the canal, I was feeling, why don't we just keep sailing? Why don't, the original plan was to find an anchorage and stop and rest up, but I really feel like I don't need any rest right now. So I just kept sailing, but the water is so flat in comparison to what we had for the last several days, which were pretty choppy seas, pretty vicious seas for the most part. So here it's nice and flat. It's probably only blowing maybe 7 or 8 knots, and we're making 4 knots. But the crazy thing is, we're going in a straight line. No matter where I point the boat downwind, she just goes in that direction, which is what we had always thought. If it wasn't for waves bashing into the side of the boat, she has this directional stability with the twin keels, the skeg, and the large rudder, and that's proving itself right now, because there should be no way I can use the Mark III to steer, because there isn't enough relative wind left over after you take out the forward component from the following wind. So very pleased with that. I'll have to get you up on deck as soon as we get some light tomorrow morning. So folks, remember, if you find these videos inspirational, educational, or even entertaining, consider becoming a patron. There's a link in the video description, and it doesn't cost you anything to check that out. Well, Rovers, it's likely my last morning at sea for this passage. I managed to, after I got out of the canal, I managed to sail for about a third of the distance, which I think is about 60 miles, and then we lost the wind, so I've had to motor just before sunrise, and it's a beautiful sunrise over there. About an hour before sunrise, I just felt a little chilled, so I had to go down below and wrap myself in a blanket just to warm up. Because I still have about 4 hours to go, and I just want to be pretty sharp when I get to Stonington. There's a number of little reefs and things around the entrance. Overall, this has been just a lovely, lovely passage. If a doctor could bottle what I got out of the fresh air and sea air and salt and give it to people, there'd be a whole lot more happy people on the planet, I think. Anyway, I need to fuel up my day tank and then get the motor started and get underway. Time to crack on. Good morning, Rovers. I am in Stonington, and this is the Stonington Yacht Club. What a beautiful place. And the boats and the mansions and
I've never seen the likes of this amount of wealth before. It blows me away. But anyways, Wave Rover doesn't look any worse to wear for her almost 9 days at sea. You can see her right here. She's looking fine. They gave me a really nice dock space, which is great because the last 48 hours I only got 2 hours sleep and a single tin of sardines to keep me going. So this was a nice, easy entry. And if you look up, there's the flag Q, and it's the quarantine flag until I get cleared in from customs, and that's the next step. The next step is to head to New Haven, and when I get to New Haven, that's where the U.S. Border Security or Customs outfit is, and I'll be able to clear in properly and get a cruising permit. And that's the procedure that I believe I have to follow to stay in these United States for the next, I think it's good for a year. So I'll let you know how that goes because it's all new territory for me. Last time I cleared properly into the States was back in 1995. That's the last century. And back then it was a good deal different, and that was in the state of Hawaii. So I'm in the car with Harold, and we drove the 50 miles from Stonington to New Haven, where the border security are located. And the border security, it's a federal building. I wanted to shoot a little bit of film. They're not having any of that. There's like a security check where you got to take your belt off and take your bag and have it go through a magnetron and step through. It's like high security stuff. And you get up there, and there's no smiling faces there in the border security front room. And I tried my best. I got a little smile toward the end, but I'm all checked in now. So what you need to do is you need to bring your ship's paper. So that's the registration form that shows that you own the boat and the registration number. And then you need to bring your passport. That's all I had to do because I'm a solo sailor. But if you're the skipper of a boat and there are other people on board, you've got to get their passports and bring them in with you as well. They're going to scan all that stuff in the office and then issue you a permit. Now here's where it gets interesting. It doesn't cost a dime, the whole thing I said. So you end up with this permit, and you have to have what's called the ROAM, R-O-A-M app downloaded to your phone. And whenever I leave this state, so I leave the state of Connecticut and I go to the state of New York, I have to check in on that ROAM with the cruising number that they've issued me so that they know I'm in that spot. If I don't do this correctly, then they revoke the cruising permit, then I'm kind of cruising illegally. So you just want to follow the rules. It's easy to do, or it looks like it's going to be easy to do. So I'm kind of thankful everything worked out, and it probably took about half an hour in the offices to get the whole thing processed. Now I'm driving with Harold, and Harold is a proper Wave Rover hero. Harold, how was it driving the 50 miles there, 50 miles back?
You know, Alan, next time, forge your own adventure.
Thanks, buddy.